Okay, good morning. Where are we? Thursday morning. What's the truck down there? That looks like a Sodai Gomi truck, the truck that comes to pick up large garbage. When you've got, furniture to throw away or something, you want to get rid of it, you call City Hall. So, not printing today, back on the first floor. Those share certificates are done, and my part of them are done. I still have to struggle with the inkjet part of it. And again, I've spent a half an hour here testing audio. It seems clear. There is a fan. Clearly there is a fan involved. Yeah. Duck. Okay. I think the audio's clear. It's more than this I can't do. Oops. But that's feedback. Hang on a second. I had the monitor turned on, so I've got to turn off the monitor. Monitor off. Feedback. Just like a rock and roll concert. It's not a real concert without feedback. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. As soon as I unplug the headphones. Nothing like a rock concert without feedback. Okay, good morning. Today, it's going to be carving today, of course. Been there, done that. Okay. People keep talking about the tree and the tying. It's just normal stuff in any urban environment like this. Every summer we do get typhoons, we get strong wind, and if those sticks weren't there, this tree would just be blown over, absolutely. The one in front of the coffee shop did blow over. Was it last year or 2 years ago? It blew over right into the street, even with these sticks. It didn't blow sideways. The sticks are holding it sideways, but it blew down into the street. We all got up there and picked it back up again. Might get a floating pole, no idea. Who knows? We got a beer keg sitting there. They were open last night. Okay, what we've got going on, I'm going to do a bit of, crowdsourcing today. In fact, before I start my normal work is going to be the preparation of the block for print number 8 in this year's series. Print number 5, they're printing it upstairs right now. Print number 6, we'll talk about that in a minute. The key block is here. Print number 7, Johnson is taking care of it, key block and color blocks. Print number 8, I will be starting here. Print number 9, Kawasaki-san has already started work on the key block. She's working on that right now as we speak. But she sent me a week or so ago the key block for number 6 to do the color separations, and I totally forgot about it. There's like stuff going on here. I'm sorry, the programming, whatever. Anyway, I forgot about it. And Ishikawa-san upstairs reminded me, we're moving along with number 5. We're going to need number 6 soon. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to need number 6 soon. So, what I've done this morning, the reason I didn't do it last week is because it's a tough one. Here's the image. This is not the original image. This is the printout from her key block. This is what I have to work with. You can see the registration marks slapped on there. I didn't put the paper in the registration marks. I just slapped the sheet onto the page, onto the block to get it. And what I need is to figure out, let me pop it up here. I took a scan this morning also too. Here's the image. I have to now do color separations on this, and this is not easy. There is, there's a tree there, make it brown. There's a cliff face, maybe make it gray. Where does one thing finish and one thing start? The water, for example, the water cascading down, where do you start? Do you do white mist at the bottom? Do we make it blue? Do we have blue and white stripes? this stuff here, this is presumably mist coming up from the bottom, but what color is this area here? How do I break up this? This is a tough one. So what I'd like to do is, I've put the image here. Let me put the link up here, mokuhankan.com. I think I put the image up. Or did I forget? One way to find out. There's a link where I think I put it. Is that a dead link, or did I actually do it? It's there. Okay, good. It's there. All right, over to you. Get your Photoshop skills, get your crayon skills, have a go at this. I have to finish this sometime within the next 24 hours. So sometime today, I will be sorting this out and trying to figure out what to do. But if you're somewhere in the evening right now, you got nothing to do, go for it. Photoshop it, send it over. Crowdsourcing. But I've got to get going on this. So this afternoon, I will be working on this. And whatever, she just reminded me this morning, and I'm like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do we have a link to the original? Actually, I don't have this right now. We found one original out there, and it was colored, but it wasn't multicolored. It was just colored with gray tone. If you, oh, I didn't prepare that, I'm sorry. If you just Google it, it should come up pretty easily. Just a minute. Koryusai boar. This is a wild boar, or inoshishi. There it is. Got it. Bingo. Let me do a quick link. Here it is. We are cooking with gas today. This is a link from the page of one of the shops downtown here in Tokyo, Harashobo. So it's not monotone, but it's almost monotone. It might have just faded over the years or whatever, I don't know. There's a gray boar. It looks like just 3 colors. Can't tell. We have to do a bit better than this. We have to do a bit better than that. And what we have to do, what we are going to try and do this afternoon is we're going to colorize it, but we still have to keep in mind the era. And this actually was the era before gradations were invented. And we've already broken that rule because the print we're making right now this month has a gradation in it. So we can do that, but we don't want a sparkly, it's got to fit the mood. It's got to fit the mood. So we're colorizing it, yeah, we're colorizing. Chat sourcing, soka. I'm missing questions already, stuff like that, no idea. Will I be doing more philosophical videos? When I have something to say. Yes, but not tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Actually, dude, there's something. I got an email. No, I can't talk about it yet. I got an email from a YouTuber yesterday. Somebody who I knew, I've seen his videos on YouTube. He said, hey, let's do a collaboration video. And he had a specific plan. I'm going to be talking about something related to Japanese prints. And he would like me to collaborate with him and do this. And I said, yes. So we're going to do this. So there's going to be a collaboration video. Okay, there it is. Here, I should show you the block now before I get to work. There is the actual block. PewDiePie, no, I'm sorry. We're talking about somebody who does videos not too dissimilar from mine, of course. Here's the block. This is the block from which that image you just saw just now was printed. She's done a nice job on this. She's done a nice job. Took her a couple of weeks. And she knew that I couldn't do turnaround on the color blocks right away. So what I did was I sent her the key block for number 9. So she herself has jumped ahead to number 9, doing the key block for that. And now, because of my delay on this, I'm not quite sure what to do. I have to do this color separation now. But if I send it to her, that puts her under real time pressure, and she does not want that. So we might now switch plans and do the color blocks here in-house. How does her calligraphy compare to mine and Johnson's? I'm not going to really go there. It's not fair to do that. Just so you know the scale, here's my finger. You can see the scale here. Where's the head? Can we see it? Get some light here. It's difficult to see. The one I posted the link was different? I don't think so. Just let me go back and check the page again. No, it's the same print exactly. The Harashoba one I linked a few minutes ago, print ID 33333, that's the same print as this. Okay, there we go. And that's actually the original series this is taken from, was a series of zodiac animals. It's the same. In fact, it's the same Koryusai series as the dog you saw me carving the last few weeks. The girls are printing it upstairs now. It's coming nicely. They're doing a nice job. It's coming very, very nicely. They did 3 runs. What did I just drop? I don't know. No idea. They did 3 runs of color tests, and then now they are doing the printing. Okay, enough of that. Let's move on to the next one. You're now going to see print number 8. This is the one that I will be starting on. I don't know what I dropped. I heard some sound, but I don't see anything on the floor. I don't know. Okay, here's the way we get them. I've done the preparation in Photoshop. For the one this month, we're taking another Koryusai original. Tora. It wasn't originally a woodblock print. This is different from the other ones in the series we're doing this year. This wasn't taken from an original print. It was a painting, a scroll painting. And they attribute it to Koryusai, which is good enough for me. So we've got our master layout here, which is fit to the size we're doing all year long. Last night I brought the image of the scroll into Photoshop, took out the colors, and you know how we do this. Instead of putting the registration marks on this paper and then carving them later, we simply cut this sheet to the registration and then glue her down. So this is defining the registration for the print. How many colors are we thinking for print 6? That's a good question. Good question. I should have mentioned that. The ideal would be 3 wood blocks both sides. So that sort of sounds like 6, but what it is you can, for example, on one wood block, if you've got a sky area and a river area down at the bottom or something, they can go on the same block. So if you keep that as your basic limit while you're doing color separation, fun there. 3 wood blocks both sides, so 6 transfer sheets. Yeah, we've trimmed it a bit, I think. We tried to, The reason we've trimmed them is our shape that we're doing is a little bit taller and narrower than most of those original Koryusai Chuban prints. So the Chuban print was a bit wider. So we've trimmed it to the side, from the sides. Now the piece of wood we've got here, it's got a huge, huge defect in it, which we can't use. But the reason I chose this instead of throwing it away is because this is a hard one. This is nice and hard. So we're choosing this because, where am I here? My image needs a nice and hard, but look at this, wide open space. So I'm hoping that I can fit this thing in. If it goes there, look at this. Do you see what's happening here then? If I put my registration marks there, that thing comes in an unneeded space. We're okay. Now it's going to be touch and go with this line, because that's going to be a really chippable area, but we can get away with this. Is it better the other way around? No, this is the way. Not lucky, chosen. I went upstairs this morning looking through our block shelf. I chose it. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Everybody uses that word luck so much, you know. And this is the point where we define this for the whole print. If I could put it here, I could put it here. The closer you put it down here, the worse it is, because later on when you're printing, any slight variation here would result in a lot of motion over on that side. So the idea is you move it as far away as you can. But if I move it to the edge, this is also not good, because when you're putting your paper in, you have nothing to hold on to with the rest of your hand. Putting the registration mark here means when you're putting your paper in, you've got resting for your finger here, and it's much more stable. So this is the general idea. As far away as you can, staying about that far from the other end. Don't go right to the edge. And certainly don't put them anywhere near here. This is a hard piece of wood. I'm going to tap this. We got to tap this. So headphones, be careful. I'm going to tap this in. So if you've got headphones on, please be careful. I'll give you a countdown here. Hang on a sec. This is going to be a short, sharp noise. 3, 2, 1. People are waiting just in time to get a noise. Sorry, it can't be helped. Can't see. Wrong glasses. Okay, here we go. It's going to be in the corner here. And down. Looking good, looking good. Double check. The defect is in an okay place. No problem. Let's paste her down. Is our bot down again? We're botless, okay. I mean, I don't have direct access to that, I'm sorry. I'll have a look at it after the stream. I'll write to Nick after the stream is over. With the bot down, that's more work for the mods. Touch more, kind of. Got to pay them overtime, so. I think we're okay. Let's give it a go. She's down. We can't quite see it well enough. The pre-peel wasn't good because I'm running out of that sheet of Gumpy. I used the last of a sheet of Gumpy and it wasn't enough to go to the edge of the block here. So if I use a bigger sheet of Gumpy than we need, it sticks down right to the edge. Remember, you see me cut it off sometimes and peel it away. But I'm running out. I got to go and get some more. So we've got a stack of paper here. Don't you do recycling in your own office there? If we've only printed on one side of a sheet of paper, we use the other side. Isn't that the way we're supposed to do things these days? That's the important part. Might be fizzing, might be easier to see. So there's essentially nothing left on this sheet of wood. What you're actually seeing is a sheet of Japanese paper with an image carved on it, you know? And yet there's no, if I were blind, there's no way I could even tell there's anything there. It's so thin now. It's the world's best system for putting images on a piece of wood. We should send this back to the maker. We've used it. Send it back and say, hey guy, you know. Look at that. That's the part we pulled off. A sheet of Japanese Gumpy paper. And yet there it is. There's a sheet of Japanese Gumpy paper. If you showed this to me, I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't think this was possible. But there it is. There's actually paper on there. And actually, it's possible to wash it off. If I put this block now, if I just soaked this block now, put this in a tray of water or something, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, then I could slide it around. I could take the block out, and the sheet of paper would still be there. I can't moisten it and peel it off. It doesn't have enough body to peel off, but it's still there as a piece of paper. This is just so cool. Okay, enough blabbing. Let's get to work. Does the wood type matter? Well, we need hard wood. Yes, we're using a hard cherry wood for this. Absolutely a hard cherry wood. Okay, what time is it? 8:30. Let's get going. This print, number 8 in the series this year, it's going to be a little bit different from the others. There's only going to be one color block. We're just going to do the whole thing. We're going to dye the paper. We're going to dye the background of the paper, print the key block, and then print another color for the tiger. As I said, the original. Here's a view of the original scroll. And I think we're going to stick to the concept. So there will be a background tone on the paper, either printed or done with a brush. Then there will be another tone behind the tiger. And I think that's it. We might also put a glow in the eyes. Haven't quite decided yet. We'll see. Part of the reason that's scheduled for August is it doesn't have a specific seasonal feel, but also August is a time when lots of the workers here are on Obon holidays, summer holidays. So by having an August print that is fewer colors, we can perhaps get away with it. This is going to be fun to carve, but there is lots of detail here. There's hair, there's fur. This is not just little black stripes. This is not going to be trivial. There's fur, so I just can't chop. I can't just chop all these stripes straight down. There's fur everywhere. This is going to take a day or two. And there are some of these are somebody's saying this looks a bit blurred, and some of them are blurred. So I'm going to make it up as I go along. You can barely see this stuff here. Just going to make it up. Okay, where to start? I am going to start with the bamboo. Why not 2 key blocks, one for lines, one for fur? I mean, whatever, what's the difference? I know it's all going to be printed, you know. So the wood grain, it's difficult because the wood grain gets in the way of seeing what's going on in some places. Okay, let's have a go. Hearing the crow there just now reminds me that when I was upstairs last week doing that printing, and yesterday also I was up there talking to Suga-san, and it turns out that on the balcony there on the third floor, some sparrows have decided to nest up there. And most of yesterday they were coming back and forth, in and out, building a nest up in the roof above the third floor balcony. And they were at it yesterday all day long, bringing lots of bits of grass and straw and all that kind of stuff and tucking it up there. We can't quite see it. They found a place up there that's hidden from view. And when I stand down on the street and look up there, we can't quite see the nest. It's hidden behind an overhanging eave there. They found a really, really private place. But we can hear them all day long up there. Suga-san was listening yesterday. The birds are chirping and working and chirping and working and whatever. So I guess it's the season, and they're going to be nesting up there. English sparrows? No idea. They're just what we would call suzume. I don't have any idea what they actually are. The generic name is sparrows. Then Tokyo is full of them, same as any major city is full of them. So I don't know. Are they going to be noisy? I don't know. We're having fun right now. They seem quite happy and cheep, 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 chirpy, chirpy. Dive bomb, do they do that, sparrows? I don't know. Swallows are the ones that are real trouble. Below the nest, it's we've had that before. I had a swallow's nest out in Ome. And my God, that's endless crap everywhere. But is this going to be that bad? I don't know. Anyway, we wouldn't even dream of disturbing them. They're okay to do what they want up there. We're fine. This wood isn't, it's not the hardest block I've ever had, that's for sure. It's going to be touch and go with some of those tiger hairs, you know. We're really a bit frustrated by this. We would really like to get some harder wood. Shoop, shoop, shoop. Back in the saddle after a week of printing. So, looks good, coming along. Thanks for your patience with this. Quiet day here. Since it was originally a painting, no, I didn't tell the full story. It was a painting originally, and then the one I have here is a version somebody made years and years ago of a print of the scroll painting. So this is what I'm now doing is the third generation. The copy I have here is a scan of a print that was made back whenever, 17, whatever. So this is a woodblock print made after a scroll of code usage. So I'm sorry if I was indeterminate there. What I have here, this is not a photograph of the scroll. This is a photograph of a woodblock print made from the scroll. Sorry about that. So no, for me, it's just simply reproduction. I'm just going to cut what I see. For the most part, cut what I see. It's not a question of people not growing trees like that. It's the way that the wood is treated. And without, again, telling the whole long story, the problem comes choosing the tree in the mountains. Trees that grow in a specific area with a specific kind of sunshine in a northern area that grows slowly can be more dense. The wood we have today was not chosen in the mountains. It's just random cherry trees that were selected. They're cut down for people who are making furniture for the most part. So the tree is not selected is the first problem. The second problem is the wood is then not dried in the same way as the old guys knew how to do it to make the wood nice and dense for carving. And we don't know how that was done. It seems that it was thrown into seawater. They were floated in ponds for some time. We don't know, 3 months, 6 months, a year, we don't know. So something to do with that step. After being chopped and brought to the major metropolitan area, they were floated in seawater for a while. And then at some point they were taken out of there and they were resawn by hand, of course. And the resawing in the old days was dramatically different from the way they do it now. It makes a huge difference in the grain structure of the wood. The wood now is resawn, of course, on huge machines, and they just take a log, imagine the round log, and they just slice it in slices. Or alternatively, they cut it in 4. They do the quarter sawing. And again, I don't know. We can tell the same story so many times. I don't know. I know with a piece of paper here. Let's use that Gumpy. This is the huge problem. We have tried. There's the old log. There's the logs they get now. And the first thing they do, they slice them into 10 centimeter slabs for the next stage of drying. And this is about 10 centimeters. The slabs then dry, and then when they slice them for furniture, they then cut pieces out of this for furniture. And the result of this is that when you look at your wood grain, most of these pieces have a straight grain, like you're seeing right now. We can see the straight grain on this. This is not what we want. What they did in the old days was this. They took the thing and they first sliced like this. And then if you think about this as being a pentagon, 5, they slice like this. And then 3, and then 4, and then 5. And then they kept going. They took another slice, and another slice, and another slice. And these are all quite big slices, about 3 centimeters thick. And they worked their way down into the tree. Now we have asked guys in the lumber market to try this for us, and they just laugh at us. They just laugh. They've got machines, they clamp the wood, slice. That's all they can do. This means jigging it up by hand, getting 2 guys with some kind of bucksaw, whatever. Anyway, the point about this, once you've done this, if I draw enough for that. Now let me put some wood grain in here. The wood grain, the circle. This has all been done. This is on a tree. So the wood grain has been like this. So every board that you get off, let me draw some wood grain in here. Every board that you get has wood grain, something like that. Every piece of wood you get. And the first thing it does is it cups and bows. So after you're drying it, you will now end up with a piece of wood that looks something like this. While they're drying it for a couple more years. It's not flat. But no problem. Next step they do is they then take out of this board, they cut the top, they cut the bottom, and they end up with a flat piece of wood which has got a grain pattern like this. Let me draw the rest of it. I'm not very good at drawing here, but it ends up now, the grain pattern is like this, the standard flat, beautiful boards that we see. So instead of having end grain, which is what I've mostly got these days, where it has these strong lines all the way through it, it's a good plank board. And we can't buy these for love or money. There's nobody who is able or willing to do this. So what are we doing? We're trying to scratch pieces. As I said, they sliced this up. Remember, this is what's in the lumber yards, these 10 centimeter slices. So in the middle of this, there are pieces that do have that grain pattern we want. But most of them, they've got the grain like this. Long story short, long story short, long story short. So what we need, step one, the ability to find the good trees in the mountains while they're still growing, which is completely beyond us. Step two, arrange to buy them a tree in the mountains while it is still growing. Step three, cut it down at the right time of year. Step four, manipulate that log somewhere, somehow manipulate that log down to Tokyo here. Step five, question mark, throw it in salt water for a half a year or something. Step six, drag it out and somehow cut that 5 pentagon style pattern into it. And as I said, we've talked to some professional people, we've talked to resawers, we've talked to guys with the big machines down there, and they just laugh. They say, it's never been done like that. No, we can't do blah, 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 blah. And that's how it was done. That's how it was done. I sat on the floor one day in Shimano-san's workshop. The guy who planed blocks, he's long, long dead now. He's been dead 20 years, and his father, who explained this to me, he's been dead for, 30 years or something, 35 years. And he drew this, what I just sketched for you. He drew this for me. He said, this is how it used to be, and it was so good, and oh my God, it was just so great, and the wood was good, and blah, 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 blah. And this is 3-4 decades ago he was telling me this. So all we've got are pieces of cherry that were harvested randomly, random season, random place, random mountain, brought to Tokyo, and sold to people who are making furniture, tables and chairs and stuff. Why can't it be done? Because there's only 2 people in the country who want this, myself and Asuka-san, and 2 of us are not enough to justify a supply chain. This piece of wood would have been thrown away. If this had ever made it to a carver's bench, he would have put his knife in and said, "What are you doing? Who are you kidding?" We sort of know what we could do about this. We need to find and identify some young guy who's interested in forestry, just some workshop or something up there in the northern end of the country where the trees are old and cold and dense. We need to find some young guy up there who will listen to this story of ours, who will think, gee, it would be fun to help these guys and whatever. And in the middle of his normal work, chopping down trees for whatever, for other stuff, in the middle of his normal work, to keep an eye out for cherry trees, good cherry trees, and maybe even sort of just as a hobby for himself. I mean, we'll pay, of course, we'll pay and pay and pay for this. Oh, some email from my daughter. Catch that later. This is another part of it all that we'll need, of course, lots of adjustments later. I'm cutting the basic shapes of the leaves I can see here. But this is all so faint. It's like with these hairs, you know. It's all so faint that it's really difficult to see exactly what shape it is. And some of this bamboo, in the original one here, some of it is distressed. Some of it has distress. It's been bashed up. Some of the bamboo looks a bit, like here, for example, this stem, this white space showing through it. So some of it will need distressing, but I can't do that at this point. So after we're cut and we're done, after we've done our test printing, then we'll get in there and we'll distress some of these, make it look a bit more natural. So at the moment, they're all quite clean and sharp. Sharper than they would look naturally. So. I think we're done that area. Moving on. Excuse me. How's our time? 8:58. Okay, we're good. I'll keep going on this. We do have a show and tell today. A show and tell that it's a little bag of prints that I brought from Ome. When I went out to Ome a few weeks ago, I put some stuff in my backpack and totally forgot about them. Last night I was using my backpack to do something else, and I reached in and there's some prints inside. So we have a show and tell. We have a show and tell. Well, look at the conversation. I'm missing 99% of this. I'm sorry. And I also, too, I have to say, sometime last week, I haven't even had time to go through the conversations. So there's lots of stuff that I am totally missing. Oh, Taran-san's here this morning. Taran-san, good morning. Nice to see you. You're waiting, I know. I'm sorry, you're waiting. Oh, color separation. Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. Thank you. I want to see this, but whatever. Okay, yes. So there's a bunch of us. You're working. You've done this. Sugi-san and Ishikawa-san are, as we speak right now, they are scribbling with color pencils. I'm going to get going. So yes, but then the question of who's to carve this. We are way behind schedule now. So maybe, Taran-san, maybe we have something going on here. The Kyoto printer, it's moving forward. I'm sending, in fact, that's something else that I was supposed to do yesterday but didn't get to. I'm supposed to send now a set for him of wood blocks, paper, samples. We've agreed to do a sample. I know no names or anything yet in case it doesn't work out, but there is a Kyoto printer. Aoyama-san visited him last weekend while Aoyama-san was in his house on Monday with samples of our prints. We phoned and we had an open phone conversation. They put the phone on the floor for speakerphone and stuff. And we've agreed to send him a set for a trial. The reason I'm really a bit nervous about this is because it's so difficult. A printer who's been working all his life has standard set ways of doing things and ways that they think are correct. And Dave's workshop here does things a bit of a different way. And we think it's not a question of right or wrong, it's a style and a style. And the experience I've had with asking outside printers has frequently been difficult. difficult. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But yes, I'll keep in touch with it as we move forward. But sometime today or tomorrow or the next day, I will be sending him a batch of prints to go. It's difficult working with outside printers. The few that we use now, Kubota-san, Yamamoto-san, they've been working with us for years. They know, they have drunk our Kool-Aid. They know what we want and what we are doing. So after years of working together with those two guys, Kubota-san and Yamamoto-san, we're cool. But now a new printer from Kyoto, it's going to be difficult. Absolutely, it's going to be difficult. So what else is actually cooking here going on? There's lots of things happening. I know there's another video in preparation. It won't be ready a day or two from now, but there is a new video coming. Cameron has sent me a first test run of it the other day, and it's going to be fun. It's a different kind of video completely from the things we've put up so far. It's not secret. I've talked about them before. There's going to be a set of tutorial videos coming. Videos that show actually specifically how to do this specific job. They're going to be different from most of our YouTube videos before, which have just simply been sort of for general entertainment value. But this is going to be our first actual tutorial video. And the idea is that there's going to be a long series of them. So Cameron sent me the first one the other day, and it's coming together very, very nicely. It's going to be interesting. Chocolate egg. Has somebody done something? For Taran, you mean? If he Kool-Aid, Mocha flavor Kool-Aid. I guess that might actually not be such a good expression to use, I suppose. I don't know. I didn't think about it, but it might be not a good expression. I don't know. To me, it expresses the idea clearly that I want to say. The person drinks our Kool-Aid. They agree to do it our style and our way. Now, I should be positive about that. The man seems clearly competent. He showed us some of his work that he's done over the years. He is a competent printer. There's no argument about that. And there's no insult here. This is all going to be a question of accepting the style. And the style of prints we make just are simply so different from almost everything else the traditional craftsmen have been doing from the last part of the 20th century. I think they have wandered away from the core of ukiyo-e printing, and they don't think so. They think they are the inheritors of the ukiyo-e printing tradition. So, we're sort of both right. They are the real craftsmen doing it here in Japan as the real workers. I'm the outsider coming in and saying, no, we want to do it a different way. So it's a difficult situation. I'm just looking at the older work, and they don't see that or think about that at all. So I'm right in that this is the way it should be done, and they're right in the way that they are the real craftsmen, and that's the way they do it. So by definition, that's the way Japanese traditional printing is done. So we're all right here. And this is part of the reason why I have trouble with these guys, is because they hear my words and they say, yeah, 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 yeah. And then once I'm out of the room, once I've given them the job, they just do what they want. And the older they are, generally, the more difficult it is. So we'll see, we'll just see. I have a bit of an advantage in that there's really very little work out there these days for some of these people. So they're kind of, hungry a little bit. So even if he sort of doesn't want to do it this way, he might just say, if that's what he wants, that's what he's going to get, okay, we'll just do this. I don't know what's going to go on in his head, So we'll see how it goes. Everything was friendly and okay and explained, Even, for example, when I say we do it differently, for example, printing the key block. The key block that I just showed you at the beginning of this stream, the one with the boars, inoshishi. Normally the printers here, to print the key block, they use sumi that they've made themselves. They buy sticks of calligraphy ink, soak them, smash them up, soak them for a few months till it's all goopy, strain it out through a sock, put it in a bucket, put it in a package, put water in and use it. And it ends up being quite, it's thick and rich and black. And not just thick and rich and black, but it's still full of particles that are actually touchable. If you put your finger in it, you can feel. And actually, when you do your printing with that, those particles are wearing out the block. Now, most of these guys don't even think about that or don't care about that, because nearly all of the work they're doing these days are limited editions. So the block is going to be used for 100 prints or 200 prints, whatever. For us, we want our blocks to last generations. So for us, we use something that's never been done before here in the tradition. We use commercially prepared calligraphy ink. We've talked about this before, kaimei bokuju. And it's not black, actually. They think it's not black enough. But it's fine for us because we don't print jet black on our key blocks. And the big advantage of this stuff is it's made in giant factories with these huge steel rollers, and it's ground so delicately, human beings cannot even feel or touch any of those particles. It doesn't wear out the blocks. So on the phone the other day, on Monday, with this new printer, I brought this up, and he's like, we can't use calligraphy ink. It doesn't work for woodblock prints. And right away, we have a problem. It does work. It does work in making the prints of the style we want, and it protects the blocks. So he said, yes, yes, yes. Aoyama-san was there. He said, yes, yes, yes. Okay, if that's what you want, I'll do it. But as soon as I hang up the phone, he's probably thinking, he doesn't know what he's talking about. That foreigner doesn't know what he's talking about. So we have this ongoing problem. Anyway, as I said, nothing to do. I will send him blocks, a batch of paper, got my budget for it, we'll pay it, and maybe we'll throw the prints away, or maybe they will be wonderful and we have a new member of our team. I don't know. I am not holding my breath. This wood we've got today, it is a hard one. I chose it upstairs this morning when I was picking the blocks. It is hard, but it's hard in a funny way. It's hard and spongy. It's squeezing here. Instead of slicing, it's squeezing. It's hard and spongy. And my guess is that that's simply a reflection that it should have been cured or dried for a longer period, I think. I think there's probably still too much moisture or sap or rosin or whatever it is inside this stuff. So it's hard on the face of it, and it is working, and we'll be able to print from it, and I think it'll last a long time. But it's actually a bit spongy in feel. It's not slicing, it's going, it's resisting here. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. Okay, next piece. I'm seeing our time. Are we okay still for time? A few more minutes, a couple more minutes of this, and then we'll switch to our show and tell mode. Hi. We have interesting prints to look at today. Active, action-packed prints today. Okay. Okay, moving right along. Okay, here we go. Here's a recap. This is the image we're carving. It's the first work today on the new print in the series. This will be the August print. Excuse me. This will be the August print in our new series, for those of you who just dropped in or whatever. It's a Code USI image. And it's going to take a week or so to carve this. A week or so, says he. Okay, there we go. So this is going to be the work for the next few weeks on the stream, of course. This is what you're going to be seeing for the next few weeks. Okay, let's put this away for now and move to our next segment. Today's show and tell. Your show. What this is, it's a bunch of prints. I must have bought these prints years and years and years ago. They're still in the package I bought them from. I don't know if it's a complete set. I suspect it's not a complete set. Before I tell you what these are, let's see how well some of you guys can identify this. You guys, you people, whatever, he, she, whatever. Before I even open this, I need two pieces of information from you. One, who drew these? Here's the signature. It's instantly recognizable. There's the signature. And second, what's our theme of this series of prints? And you should be able to get this. There's some huge hints here. A couple of guys dragging a guy out of a storeroom. Yes, and this is it. This is it. Eggs. Oh, look at this. We've got it. Ronin thingy. Chushingura, 47 Ronin. Yes. John, Yoshitoshi Mizuno Gekko. Come on, which of this is? Yoshitoshi Mizuno or Gekko? Come on. It's Ogata Gekko. This is ski month. Gekko is the designer. And yes, this is the 47 Ronin story. This is one of the major highlights of the story. The point during the raid on the mansion when they find the guy hiding in a storeroom. So yes, it's the 47 Ronin story. Not the guy that did the Moon series. That's Yoshitoshi. This is the same era, the same style of drawing, the same person. But this is Ogata Gekko. And what we have, and let's just flip through these, they're done in pairs. And I don't think we have the whole set at all. In fact, there's no numbering. I know nothing about how many there were. We have a date here. I'm going to need my magnifier. Oh, it's all blurred. Hopefully more than, oh yeah. Wow, this is blurred. I can't see it, I'm sorry. It's blurred so much. Maybe one of them will be readable as we go down. Let's just flip through them. They're episodes from the 47 Ronin. I don't know the story well enough to be able to tell you exactly what's happening in each of those, because during the story along there's so many episodes. We're just going to simply enjoy the prints. We've seen Hokusai horses. Now, by this era now, we're getting into real horses, real animals. A couple of things that never existed in the old ukiyo-e days: chiaroscuro, shading two colors like this to make three-dimensional objects. This never happened back in the old ukiyo-e days. This is 1890 or something, 1895, somewhere around there. And ukiyo-e now is basically dying. They're still making woodblock prints, but in a world that has photography. So the demands for being realistic are much, much stronger. We have faces, we have expressions. It's no longer just the old hook nose. These guys are also being hugely influenced by the demands of illustration work. But it still has all the lines, all the brush strokes. Everything you see still is a brush stroke. For me, this is the best era. It has the attractiveness of all the old carving and printing, and yet it's not such, sort of, what's the word? It looks real. It looks real. The colors here too. This is Meiji era coloring. These purples. This is aniline dye. I could not wash this print. So it's stylized, but not in the same old sort of creepy way that the old ukiyo-e was stylized. Let's move along. Again, I don't know the story. I really don't know the story. I'm sorry, well enough to. It was also stretched and varied. What have we got here? A komuso, the guy with the monk and the shakuhachi and the basket. And is there about to be a decapitation? I don't remember any decapitations in the 47 Ronin story. And there's even an inset. The chamber pot, it's not a chamber pot, it's a basket. This is if you look up the word komuso, Komuso, these guys appear in all the old mystery stories. There were monks that would travel around, and the basket is there to give them some semblance of anonymity. There's screens in the front so their eye can see. This was a thing, and they carried shakuhachi and a begging bowl, and they would play shakuhachi and beg for alms and stuff. But these people appear in all the stories that have anything to do with mystery or action or adventure, because this is the way you do your spying. You pretend you're a monk, and away you go and do your spying. John, you spelled it wrong. Not kosubo, komuso. Komuso, komuso. And I'm sorry, I have no idea what's about to happen here. For me, it's just the brushstrokes. And this must be a flashback, I guess. Something that's happened. I don't know. Do you see the embossing? It would be more fun if we knew the story, the details of what's going on in each scene. I'm sorry, I don't know these. Once we get these scanned and put up into our collection, Rose-san will find the detail for us, but I myself, I don't know that. I'm sorry. So. Oh, the lighter touch on this. Look at this. Much lighter touch. Same series, but a much lighter touch on this. Haven't seen that pattern before. No idea what this is. No idea. Not typical of the era at all. Don't know what that is. Yeah, this scene comes in all the Chushingura stories. I don't know what it is. There's always this scene. A guy in sort of hatamoto dress looking wistfully back at a gate or a building. All the series have this specific scene. I should have studied up more what it is. I'm sorry, I don't know. There's just too much going on here. But this is one classic scene in the Chushingura story. Knife in hand. Show. This, I believe, is one of the early scenes in the story. I think this is perhaps in the original castle where the bullying was taking place. But I'm not quite sure. My guess is this is part of the bullying that caused the episode in the first place. There seems to be no order. They've just stuck these things two by two. This is classic Meiji era. The coloring, the face, the hair. This is classic for its era. It's armor, right? She's got a helmet there, which she must have taken from the box here, full of, this is Japanese armor. So Karen says too, not a fan of these colors. This is very typical coloring for this era, late 1800s. They've got these new pigments and dyes from Germany. They're called aniline dyes. And they're using them not as dyes, they're using them actually as pigments. It's not the way dyes are supposed to be used. Dyeing is a chemical reaction. But they got hold of these things and they started to use them as pigments. And to me, they're pretty grotesque. They just don't work at all. It blots everything else out. And there's a purple and a green and a bizarre red that were used. It's also another classic scene. I don't remember the story, but yes. So when somebody said it, exactly right, this was the hot new deal. So it was. They got these new colors, and to them it looked exciting and interesting and new. You know, to us now, they don't look new at all. They just look grotesque. They don't match the style. But at the time, they were looking for novelty. They were looking for something that was, you know, just interesting and new. And it's easy for us to say now they went down a wrong path, but whatever, they didn't. They just, you know. Oh. More. Talk about a trope. Talk about a trope. I haven't seen one before this wide. No idea. I've never seen a komuso with a basket that wide. And it looks like there's another one there too. We should learn more about the story here, you know. Does it say 14? Meiji 14. This looks like it's Meiji. Is that a 10 or a 20? It's difficult to see. 10 4 years. This may be Meiji 14. I don't think so. It's too early. It's later than that. So this is something. Maybe they're trying to say 20. I don't know. Difficult to read, I'm sorry. This is something and then 4 and then year. It's either 20, it's either 10, 1 4, 2 4, or 3 4. And it doesn't look like any of those symbols. Meiji 14, I guess, if that was where I had to put my bet is Meiji 14, 1890, 1880. That's kind of early. I don't know. Anyway. No idea. I know, to be sort of sarcastic and silly about this, you could also sort of make it into a caption contest. What on earth are these people doing? Where are they? Who are these visitors at the door? So, a bit disrespectful, but yes, it could be a caption contest. Sorry about that. So, here's the last one. This is the famous scene. That's the raid on the mansion. This is another action. Did you find these? Because I searched for these. You know, I went to ukiyo-e.org. I looked around. I searched Ogata Korin, Chushingura. He made another Chushingura set that was vertical format. I searched around for these, and I could not find them. If somebody's found them, thank you very much. Meiji 24. That's the girl from the restaurant next door. Is it a 2? Is it a 20? I don't know what it says. Is it 2, 10, 4? 2 10s making 20 and then a 4? Okay, yeah, there we are then. So this is 24. So it sure doesn't look like a 24 though. It doesn't look like a 20, but anyway, whatever. And then the scene, the raid on the mansion itself. And when you read about this story, this is the one thing that for me doesn't make sense. When there's these 47 guys, they raided this mansion, broke their way in, fought all the samurai that were in there, found the leader, took him, decapitated him, and went out. And 47 men then committed suicide. One of them was let go. But my question is, can you really have a war, raid the mansion, kill a bunch of those guys, get your objective, and yet nobody got hurt, nobody got killed? All 47 guys got through this? Really? That's the part of the story to me that doesn't make sense. If some of them had died partway through, I get it. But for all 47 to survive this raid and kill everybody else in the place, that doesn't make sense to me. So I think there's really a lot more fiction involved in this story. It's supposed to be a true story. The guys are there, the bodies are there, the temple is there, the historical records are there. It's based on a true story, but I don't know. So there were no guards, there were no samurai. They just bashed into an empty building where the guy was by himself. I don't know. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry for the lack of knowledge and detail about the story itself, but for me the interest is the woodblock prints, the pictures, and there we have them. I'm curious, so now that somebody's found a link to this, I will look it up. And is this the complete set? What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It could be. They quite frequently made prints in sets of 12. So it could be we have a set, 12 highlights showing scenes from the famous Chushingura story. Or this may be just one selection from what is a longer set of prints. I don't know. Anyway, there you have it. Just a quiet little show and tell today, looking over some of our prints a bit closely. This is the end of ukiyo-e. This is just when ukiyo-e is really coming to the end. And just a decade after this, a couple of decades after this, it was all over. It was all over. The printing presses had taken over. The link page shows 6 sheets with 12 images. Then maybe I've got the whole set. Good. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, there we are. I have a ton of work to do now today. I will be talking to Taran-san, it looks like, this morning. Taran-san, if you're still here, let's get in touch. Let me show me what you've got. Let's talk about this. And I'm really behind schedule on that color block carving, so maybe it's time to get together on that one too. And the bot, I will write to our bot man, our bot boss, to see if he can give me some information on what's going on. And if the bot is down, it means I won't have a copy of the stream, because the bot is the thing that collects the stream, sends it to me, and I can read what you said. And if the bot is down today, I will not be seeing. Everything is now history, and I will never know what happened. Okay, here we are. For the new members, this is Thursday morning in Tokyo. I'll be back here again 2 days from now, Saturday morning in Tokyo, Friday evening for people in most of the rest of the world. Thanks for watching in today, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you very much. Let's put up the outside camera just for a minute here. Just watch the VOD on Twitch, like I have 90 minutes to spare to do that. We almost have a floater. It's trying to take off. It's sort of floating. Okay. Okay, guys, thanks so much. I'll turn it off now. See you again in a couple more days. Thank you for being part of the community here. Bye-bye. Bye for now.